Good day. My name is Maryke Bronkhorst. I'm a dietitian in South Africa, Johannesburg. Today I would like to chat to you about gestational diabetes or diabetes during pregnancy. So gestational diabetes is associated with multiple adverse effects during pregnancy. Women with gestational diabetes are at very high risk of type 2 diabetes later in life, especially about 3 to 6 years after delivery. The baby of the mother who had gestational diabetes are also at increased risk of becoming overweight or obese when they are an adult. And this is associated with type 2 diabetes as well. So there was a study that was done in 2019 by the International Diabetes Federation, and it showed that 16% of live births had some form of hyperglycemia or high blood sugar in pregnancy, and 1 in 6 births were affected by gestational diabetes. So the question is, what is gestational diabetes? And that is what I would like to explain to you. We are going to start off with the digestive tract. So first of all, you'll see here, this is where your mouth is. So when you eat food, it comes through the mouth, into the esophagus, into the stomach. From the stomach, it then needs to go into the small intestine. From the small intestine into the large intestine, and then that is where it will be excreted. Then we also have another organ, which we call the pancreas. So from when we eat the food, our food is then broken down into fat, protein, and carbohydrate. These are our 3 macronutrients. We're going to concentrate on carbohydrates, and carbohydrates, that breaks down to glucose or blood sugar. We just call it blood sugar. Easy to remember, carbohydrates are things like bread, cereal, potato, pasta, and anything with white flour. So cakes and biscuits, muffins, pap. We'll also look at things like sweets and chocolates. So we get healthy carbohydrates and unhealthy carbohydrates, but all of them at the end of the day breaks down to glucose. So these glucose molecules or sugar molecules are then absorbed into your bloodstream. And from your bloodstream, it has to go into every single cell in your body so that the cells can have energy and provide your body with all its daily tasks. But it cannot go into the cell by itself. So what happens is that the pancreas makes a key to open the cell so that the sugar can go into the cell. And the key's name is insulin. So your body needs insulin to bring the glucose into the cells. But what happens is that your body only has a certain amount of insulin in its lifetime. And certain conditions like pregnancy can put your body under more stress to release the insulin or the keys. And when that happens, when there's not enough insulin, the blood sugar cannot reach the cells anymore, and it stays inside the blood. When it stays inside the bloodstream, that is when you get high blood sugar levels or hyperglycemia. What can happen is that sometimes these glucose molecules or the blood sugar then leaks through the urine, and it can be picked up in your urine. So that is why when you go to your gynae, quite often you need to do a dipstick, and they can pick up if there is glucose in your. So to explain things on a graph, on this axis we have blood glucose, and this one we've got time. And on the inside, imagine the gray area is your normal blood glucose level. So when you eat a certain food, so imagine you're eating something like a slice of white bread, your blood sugar is going to spike really quickly. When that happens, your body will say, oh my goodness, I don't like that. So what will happen is your body will make lots of keys or lots of insulin to try and get this blood sugar level down. But when you overproduce the insulin, you make too many keys, your blood sugar will actually drop and will drop too low. And when your blood sugar is over here, your body will go into a panic and you will get symptoms like being very tired. You can have some cravings. Normally it's a carbohydrate or a sugar craving. And normally what you do then is you will go and you eat some carbohydrate or have something sweet. This will result in your blood sugar to spike again. And this cycle then repeats. So you will then overproduce the insulin, which will drop it, and that will continue. Now, when you are pregnant or you have gestational diabetes, this process is under pressure. And what can happen is that your body cannot bring your blood sugar down quick enough. You will then go out of the normal limit, and when you are there, that is when you are diagnosed with being diabetic. And quite often you then need to inject yourself with some insulin or keys. But how can we prevent this? We want your blood sugar to go like this. We want to have a much more normal blood sugar level. And to do that, you need to control the amount of carbohydrate that you eat. So if you eat little carbohydrate, then your blood sugar will not spike. It will also be the right type of carbohydrate, and we call them glycemic index, low glycemic index carbohydrates. These are things like sweet potato, brown rice, millet, barley, and sweet corn. Those are all your low GI carbohydrates. You can go to the Glycemic Index Foundation of South Africa. They've got a website and they've got a list of all the foods that are low GI. And when you eat the low GI foods, then your body will use very little insulin to produce, and it will cause a more stable blood sugar level. So as you can see, most people or a lot of people are at risk of developing diabetes or gestational diabetes if their diets are not healthy and they're overeating carbohydrates and the wrong carbohydrates. So my advice would be cut down on your carbohydrates, don't eat too much, try and go for the healthier options. If you struggle, go and see a dietitian. You can seek some help. You can contact me. My details are on the next slide, and I'll be more than happy to help. I hope that you will have a safe and healthy pregnancy.